My name's Eric. I'm a digital nomad traveling around the country in my Subaru Forester, and normally I live in my Subaru, but this week I've actually been staying with friends in a house, and I gotta tell you, it's been pretty nice, and I'm starting to question nomad life altogether.
Regular days would turn into never-ending weekends, ordinary way. No, see you when it comes low. You plus me up, ripple effect. One dreaming architect.
Really loved my time in Sedona, just northern Arizona in general. Like, Arizona is just one of the states that I really do love every part I've been to. Every time I come to it, I see more and more that I've never seen before. So it's a place that I want to spend more and more time in for sure. From here on out, I am, like I said, headed down to Tucson. I'll probably be in Tucson for about a weekish, roughly. All right, well, I know it's a little dark out here, so I promise I'll show you my spot better tomorrow morning when the sun has risen and you can see the spot a lot easier. But I'm actually just outside of Tucson. I'm on some BLM. There's definitely some mosquitoes out here, so I'm swatting a little bit at them. But yeah, I'm just outside of Tucson on some BLM. Found my spot for the night. I really wanted to share the sunset with you. It's almost gone, but let me share it with you real quick. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. Look at those mountains in the background. The saguaros right there. Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that. So, like I said, I'm just outside of Tucson, and my whole plan was to get to Tucson tonight by dinner, which is perfect. It's 6 o'clock now. And then I was going to do some door dashing tonight. I was going to try to make a little money. But in order to get to Tucson, I literally had to drive right past the spot. So I was like, oh, well, let me just scope this place out. I saw this on iOverlander. And so I was like, let me scope this place out. It's a lot easier to see these places in BLM when it's daylight outside, because some of these side roads, there's no lights out here, right? So some of these side roads can be easy to miss and can be hard to find some of the camp spots. But as I got here and then decided, okay, this spot looks great, I want to come back here and stay tonight, I then got online to see where all the restaurants were in Tucson, and they're 32 minutes away. So that's an hour round trip in order for me to go into Tucson, work, and then come back here. That's a lot of extra miles and a lot of time just to go work for 2 or 3 hours, probably up to 9 o'clock, probably work for like 3 hours. Actually, it wouldn't even be 3 hours because 6 o'clock now is going to take me half an hour to get there. So I would only work for like 2.5 hours. And I would probably make like $100, but I didn't really see the benefit in doing that, honestly, because I would give up the spot, and there's a strong chance that by the time I got back here, someone would snag this spot. So I think I'm just gonna stay here, and then I'm finally gonna meet up with my friend in Tucson. Him and his partner have not been feeling very well, but he said they're feeling a lot better today, so tomorrow they should be fine. So I think I'm gonna meet up with them. So I was sitting here at the by the fire and just on my phone a little bit, responding to some messages on YouTube and stuff. And I heard something like some sticks break over there in the trees. So I quickly shine my flashlight over there, and it was just a little fox, but definitely startled me at first. I was like, what is that? There goes the fox. He's very small. It's a little gray fox. All right, well, I'm in Tucson. I got here like 2 days ago, and staying with my friend, and really haven't had a chance to do much of anything. My friend and his husband actually have not been feeling too great, so we did like a small hike, me and Jeremy, my friend, did, but after a little bit, he just wasn't feeling too great. So really just been kind of working everything, but I'm about to go to a Planet Fitness for the first time in 5 months to work out. The hard part about traveling is you're not around gym chains all the time. So you can exercise, you can work out, obviously. You just have to do it, you know, outside in nature or something like that. And I just don't have anything to really do that. So one of the things I think I'm gonna do while I'm here in town is get like some exercise bands, so that when I'm not around big chains like this, I can get a exercise in, get a workout in, because I think one of the things that really like hit me mentally is not looking your best you don't feel your best, right? So I think if I'm able to just kind of maintain something and just get some regular exercise in on the open road, that will maybe help a little bit. So I think I'm gonna be pretty sore tomorrow, so I'm gonna go very, very lightweight today on the weights. But I'll go in there and try. Not that bad, actually. I was in there a lot longer than I thought I would be. I thought I would go in there and want to do maybe 45 minutes max, but I was actually in there for an hour and a half. So I'm sure I'll be very sore tomorrow. I pushed myself probably a little more than I should have, but it wasn't that bad. I guess it's kind of like a guy thing, you know? There was times I was doing exercises, I'm like, man, this sucks. I'm only doing like 25 pounds or whatever when I used to do like 75 pounds or whatever, you know? Like, yeah, I guess it's just one of those things where you know what you used to be able to do, and you're in there after so long and not doing anything, so you have to go very, very low on the weights, and it kind of sucks. But I was doing like higher reps, so but on that like 15th or 16th rep, I was like, okay, I'm pushing it. So it was good. Not next week, but like 10 days from now, I gotta be in Courtside, Arizona. There's a really big Nomad event that I'm doing that I'll talk more about in a future video. But I'm gonna head back to his place, Jeremy's place, to grab something to eat, work on a project. I really want to point out that as a YouTuber, I am constantly conflicted with videotaping a moment that is happening in front of me versus trying to be present in that moment. When it's just me and I'm out in the world exploring things, I have absolutely no problem with taking my phone out of my pocket and videotaping that moment, putting it up on the internet. But when I'm around others exploring an area, then I constantly want to try to be present in that moment. I don't want to be pulling my phone out of my pocket and recording every little thing that happens. I really do try to engage in the people that are around me and just try to be present in the moment. I just think it's really, really important to feel like the people that are around me, I'm engaging with them at all times. Also, because I was around more people this week while I was staying in a city, I was actually staying with friends at their house. I was trying to be very, very mindful of their privacy. I didn't want to get them on camera too much. You'll see them from time to time in the videos, but I didn't get them on camera a whole lot, and I didn't really do a lot of talking to the camera. I was just kind of videotaping a moment that was happening there. So you're gonna hear me narrating a little bit more during the video. The next day was New Year's Eve, and I was really looking to do something. Jeremy and Len, his husband, were still very, very sick, and they didn't want to do anything that night. So I actually had lined up a date for New Year's Eve with a woman I had been chatting with a little bit online. As Jeremy and Len were still under the weather, I thought it might be a good time to spend some time hiking around Tucson in an area known as Sabino Canyon Recreational Area. It's a beautiful stretch of Arizona desert surrounded by mountains and beautiful landscapes. So me and Amy met up and we spent the entire day outside hiking around. We then headed downtown because Amy was telling me that there were a lot of murals on the walls of downtown Tucson. So we spent the later part of the afternoon just wandering around and checking them all out. Finally, my friend Jeremy started to feel a little bit better, and he wanted to meet up in the morning and go up a hike called Tumamoc Hill. So I got up really early and met him and his friends for an early sunrise hike.
So many days is yet to come. Too many times has come to pass. Too many moments put aside. Getting out alive, getting out alive. Writing letters in the sand. Lost to ocean's gentle hand. Through the sunrise I will thrive. Getting out alive.
I'm a freelance video editor, and as a freelance video editor, sometimes my work is up and sometimes it's down. And lately it's been very down. So I've been talking a lot on this channel about trying to get a part-time job. And I have been doing things like door dashing to make a little money on the side, but my love really is video editing. It's why I started a YouTube channel in the first place. So I found a job online a little over a month ago that was looking for a part-time video editor, and I thought it sounded perfect. I interviewed for the job, but I didn't hear anything back until shortly after getting to Tucson. And it was great news. The woman actually offered me the job, and I took it. So now I have a part-time job to do video editing, which greatly helps my income. All right, well, my friend Jeremy was kind enough to let me use his shop vac, and I am cleaning out my car. It is so overdue. It's been 7 months since I've really cleaned out this thing like this. I mean, I've definitely cleaned it and washed it and everything a few times since I've been living in it, but nothing like this where I'm taking everything out and just scrubbing everything down. There's so much just dust on everything, so it feels good. It's also just wild to think that as I take everything out, my bed is currently over there, my fridge is right there, my closet is actually in his room that I'm sleeping in, and yeah, it is just wild to think that I have a whole house in here, that I actually have a life in here somewhere, that I'm able to put a kitchen, a bed, a closet, a refrigerator, everything in this little car. Kind of makes me miss my car. Like, this is what it looks like when the seats are up, right? Like, this is having a car. Looks so much smaller. So after 7 months of travel, I realized that there was things up there in the box and a few things even in the car that I wasn't using. So here's a small box I'm gonna actually send back to Florida. Not this power bar, I'm about to eat that, but just some clothes I thought I would use. And I had this little space heater that's actually a Mr. Buddy. Well, it's a Mr. Heater, but the little Buddy is the name of the brand, model. And you put it on those little green 1 pound propane tanks. And it puts out like 3,800 BTUs, I think. And I actually used to have that heater when I had the teardrop, and I would put it in there at night right before I crawled into bed. And it really helped. After like 5 or 6 minutes, it would warm up the space like 20 degrees. It really helped, but I had it, so I thought I would use it in the car from time to time, but I haven't used it once. And that's mostly because that is actually an open flame on that thing when you light it. And I just don't have a stable place to put that thing in the car to have the flame not brush up against something, right, and cause a fire while I'm in the car. So yeah, I just never used it. So it's just taking up a ton of space in the roof box. So I'm gonna send that back to Florida. Like I said, along with some clothes that I thought I would use, but 7 months if I haven't worn it, I'm definitely not gonna wear it anytime in the near future. So after getting that great news of getting the job, I spent a good majority of the day just cleaning up the car. And that night, since it was one of my last nights in town, me, Jeremy, one of his friends, and Amy all decided we want to go out and do something. We decided to go downtown to this really beautiful old movie theater, and we caught an event called the Odyssey Storytellers. The Odyssey Storytellers is an event that happens throughout the year in Tucson, and it's a way for people to get up on stage and just tell their story. Tell their story about something that's happened in their life. As I mentioned, they do these storytelling events all throughout the year, and each one kind of has this broad topic to kind of help narrate the story that you're going to hear that night. The night we went was the topic, a safe space. So each storyteller, each person who got up on stage to tell you the story, were all telling you a story from their life that came from a place where they felt safe. Whether it be a physical place where they felt safe, like an apartment or a home or a job, or maybe it's where they felt safe talking to a certain person. So for example, one woman said that her safe space was back when she was in high school and she joined the drama club. And through that drama club, she actually met friends that stayed with her for life. Another woman got on stage and told us a story about how her safe space was actually knowing someone in her life that she felt confident and safe to tell personal stories to. And the story evolved a little bit to tell the audience that unfortunately that friend had passed away and that that woman didn't really feel like she had a safe space anymore. I thought it was a really interesting event, and it was one of those things that I wish I could come back and hear more of these stories throughout the year. In fact, being there in that old movie theater that night, hearing those stories about people's safe spaces, being so close to friends and being in their homes all week long and being surrounded by modern amenities like a bathroom you can walk to anytime you want to. You didn't actually have to drive to go use. Being in a home with central heat and air. Being able to stand up when I put my clothes on. Using a full kitchen to cook in. Cooking on a real stove tonight. I'm cooking indoors, out of the cold. I could stand up without hitting my head on the trunk of my car. I'm standing in socks. I'm not standing in shoes and a big heavy jacket. It's a little cool, so I have like a pullover on, but it's pretty nice. Look, there's even a microwave. Whoa, fancy. I'm not using it, but it's there. And just having people to talk to. This is Velvet. She loves me. In fact, she pretty much loves everyone. Anyone can come up to her and pet her. She absolutely loves it. This is Rue. She's quite the opposite. She doesn't trust me at all. Every time I got close to her, she either barked or just ran away. Being in a city where there's a grocery store just around the corner and a gym just up the street, well, those things were nice. They really did remind me of all the things that I give up on a daily basis just to travel the country in my car. It reminded me how these things, they're not just things. They really are a safe space. I felt like this whole week, I was in a safe space. I wanted to title this video Stuck because that's how I felt this week. I felt very stuck in the middle of choosing a life where I'm going down the road into the unknown or staying there in a city where things were just safe. However, I know that for me, even though standing up to put your clothes on or having access to daily showers or being around close friends all the time, even though those things are nice, I know that for me, they just don't feel like home. While they're all incredibly comforting and safe, they also just feel incredibly foreign to me. They make me feel like I'm stagnant in my life, and they really do make me feel like I'm stuck in my life. The idea that I have absolutely no idea where I'll be tomorrow, and I have absolutely no idea where I'm gonna sleep tonight, somehow there's comfort in that for me. For me, the randomness of my life really is my safe space. Thanks for escaping normal life with me.